further that concept as being absolutely real, a completely respectful professional with great talent, great heart, great commitment, and great character. So I think he has managed to escape the complete insanity of the trap of believing your own press, being frightened of your celebrity, being, mutilating in a sense. Because who are you really helping or hurting? Only yourself if your success leads you to go into deep waves of addiction and self-destruction.
Matt, she's ready to work with you if you're listening, okay? I'm sure Matt Damon is a big listener of truehollywoodtalk.com, but if you're out there, Joanne Baron wants to work with you. What's the future hold for you? You're an actress. I know you're into producing now. Tell us how you kind of skipped into that. It just seems like you're all over the place and enjoying life.
Well, I really love acting, and that is my first love. So just like any actor, and this is why I think when I do teach, I have sort of a humility about it. I go in and I audition. And it doesn't matter that I'm, a identifiable acting teacher or, have any sense of recognition in that field. I am, like everyone else, humbled by the opportunity to be accepted or rejected. So what is the future for me is to continue improving my skills until I die, becoming better and better every day. I hope I never stagnate. I hope I never stay at any one point. I hope I can always learn something new, doing more and more projects and better projects and working with some of the great directors you're talking about. And in the meantime, letting this school with its 7 teachers and its 200 students generate more and more talent into the community. And as opportunities present themselves with people that I feel very strongly about, I will participate in projects that I can collaborate on and can create. I did a movie that this studio executive produced and created with Kirstie Alley and Delroy Lindo for CBS called Profoundly Normal, a story I'd had for 20 years that I had originally attached Holly Hunter to, that came about when I did a movie called Crazy in Love with Holly and Bill Pullman and Frances McDormand. And then I had a movie that I, produced called Perfume that I met Jeff Goldblum on, that was a Meisner improvised film that had Sonia Braga and Paul Sorvino and Leslie Mann, who went to this school, who's in all of Judd Apatow's movies and is getting great acclaim.
Do you feel a tremendous sense of pride when one of your actors strikes it big in this town? I could tell you'll be very happy for them.
I'm very, very happy for my actors, but I try not to take it as my ego. They've achieved it. And I feel that, in a sense, to be truthful, it's so difficult to achieve things in life that I am happy, in a sense, for anybody who, whether they're my student or someone else's, has the opportunity in this world to put a footprint into the universe of something of value that has been born of hard work and perseverance and commitment. I think it is so hard to have meaning in your life, be it in your home or be it in your family or be it in your children, that any achievement is something to be celebrated.
And look at the Seth Rogen. I mean, he's in a lot of that guy's movies, and he's a new, he's been around for a while, but I find a lot of people don't realize how long someone's been around before they make it. It's usually a while.
I think that, Bill Esper taught Kathy Bates, who did Misery. I don't know if she was 40 or 35 or whatever, but she was quite on in her development in her years and maturity, and she broke out in that movie, and she became an Academy Award-winning star. I almost think it's never too late for someone, but I do agree that usually people do not, quote, happen overnight. Usually there's a degree of learning and growing and practice. There are the exceptions where somebody suddenly has a breakout role, but generally speaking, even if that happens, they have to reclaim their success by, even after an Academy Award, finding new ways to reinvent and reinvigorate their career.
Now, you work as a private coach, too, so if someone's going up for, say, a series regular or large TV role, how do you straddle that fine line? Like you said, they have to book that role. You have your own ideas. How does it work with you as a coach when you're coaching somebody? What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, you never want to coach anyone with your idea. You want to coach what you think the show, the script, and the director require. You don't want to become the director. So if I have someone like Hallie who comes to me, Martha Coolidge will send me notes and say, this is what I'm looking for in the performance. And then a coach's job is to facilitate and deliver that performance. A coach's job is not to interfere with the director's vision or with the script's intention, but to realize it.
If you haven't figured it out, Steve Buxbam's a fan of Joanne Baron. That's why this interview is going a long time. But I want to thank you, Joanne, because I was really blessed for you coming on the show, and you have a lot of wisdom. You've seen a lot of different things in your life, and yet I feel, wow, you're just getting started. You've got a long career ahead. Joanne, what's your final words to actors in this town? Give us your final 3 thoughts on actors that are trying to make it in this town.
My final thoughts on an actor trying to make it is fall in love with acting. Art is big, you're small. Put aside some of the passion and ambition and drive related to self. Kind of sort it out. Get clear. What the heck did you set on this path for? And don't confuse it with the adulation and love and fulfillment that may have been vacated from your origination of your nuclear family. Start out really knowing that you're pursuing a craft. Then my second advice would be make yourself great. You know, I believe in God, and God gives everybody something, and everybody's unique and an individual seed. Make yourself the best you can be by really going and pursuing the greatest training possible. For me, Bill Esper, New York. For me, my opinion, this studio here. And make sure that whoever you go to and however that materializes for you, that you give it a full commitment. If you train hard, you will end up working long. And I guess the last thing is once you do start working, don't forget that you fell in love with it because of the craft of it. And make these sacrifices with humility for your ego, for your fear, for your anger, for your impatience. Feed your art and feed your heart and feed your higher spirit. Don't allow the fact that you start working to derail you into a state of fear and awe and egotism. Stay on track with the work, and you'll end up succeeding with what you started for. The destination will be a working professional that loves what they do.
Well, this is just tremendous advice. Are we going to see you on TV or in films anytime soon that we should be watching out for?
Well, we've got the Paul Sorvino movie that I starred in opposite him, which was the great thing, called The Trouble with Callie. We have the movie The Ungodly that's coming out that I was in opposite Wes Bentley. We have a great movie I did called Bare Knuckles that Anthony Hopkins is in also, made a cameo. Movie I love, Bare Knuckles, about a true story about the real woman plays it, who became a fighter to raise the money for her real daughter, who's in the movie, who only learned how to walk a year ago, and she's 8 years old. And so developmentally child, developmental problems in, brain issues. And I play the mother who, oversees the dream coming to fruition. On television, there is a movie I starred in with Gail O'Grady called The Sitter, which Gail O'Grady is that marvelous actress from NYPD Blue who's now in Boston Legal. And that's a fun thriller. And there are quite a few other things, but I can't think of all of them now. But I think hopefully you'll see me on Dexter, Californication, and we can't remember the other one.
Just put her on TV and film. This is Steve Bucksbaum. Joanne Baron, you've been a delight.
Goodbye.